5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix. In the mix.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nina Monique Show. Yay! Today, we are kicking off Women's History Month. We are going to be honoring and talking about the accomplishments of women. We do it every day, but still, we're going to talk about it on my show. Today, my guest is Nina Roman.
Hi.
Hi, Nina. And Faith. And
Thanks. I appreciate that.
and we are going to be talking about women empowerment. We're going to talk about self-love. We're going to talk about women entrepreneurship. We're going to cover a lot of topics that I think are very important for women and young women. I think it's a lot going on in the world, and we need that empowerment. Some people feel there's a lot of empowerment for women. I personally feel, in my opinion, it's not enough because we see a lot of false images on TV. We see a lot of women who are in abusive relationships. We see a lot of women who go through bullying, not just women but men also. So I want to cover across the board. So get with your little girlfriends and pour out that wine and sit back and enjoy the show. We're going to have some cool topics to talk about. The first thing I want to do is give a shout out to Miss Emma Gonzalez in Florida, who's the young lady who made the speech about gun control. I want to give a very big shout out to her because she is one that is standing up to, in my opinion, the bullies of who are running the country right now, saying no, we're not going to provide any gun control. We don't see anything wrong with it. And she made a speech about that it needs to be gun control. And she stood up, in my opinion, to the bullies who don't see anything wrong with what's going on right now. So I want to give a big shout out to Miss Emma Gonzalez. Keep doing your thing, little mama. You're going to make it happen.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start the show off talking about bullying. Faith was one of the first women to submit her story when I started my clothing line, Nina Monique Voluptuous Boutique.
Mm-hmm.
And when I read the story, I was very empowered because I felt like I wasn't alone. I felt, there was someone out there who went through similar situations that I did growing up. And Nina Roman also submitted her story. And when I read her story also, I said, wow, like there are people that go through similar situations, and it's very important that you push yourself to come out on top of those situations. Yes. So we're going to start off by talking about our journey of what we had to go through in order to get to where we are now. I think that's very important, especially for young people to know, because for those young people who are being bullied in school or women who are being abused, and you may feel there's no one out there that could give you, that could provide some type of inspiration to you. There are people out there. You just have to want to find those people, because in my opinion, that's the first step of trying to remove yourself from that situation. Surrounding yourself with people who care, surrounding yourself with people who will listen, surrounding yourself with people who will remind you that you are a queen and you deserve better than someone telling you you're less than or someone putting their hands on you. To the young people, when you're going through bullying, I understand that while you're going through it, you don't see no light at the end of the tunnel, I guess you could say, because you're questioning, why do I have to go through this? What did I do to this person? What did I do to deserve to be treated this way? Why do I have to be treated this way? They don't understand how much this hurts. And you may try to find ways to hurt yourself, or you may try to find ways to take it out on other people. And normally for some people, it happens both ways. So I really want to talk about our journey, me, Nina, and Faith, and how we got to where we are now, because I think it shaped and molded us into what we're doing and how we're trying to influence other people. if you ladies want to chime in on anything.
I agree with everything that you just said. 100%. Like you said, we, especially the three of us, I know that we've all gone through pretty similar things growing up, with maybe depression and being bullied and things. And like I was just telling you before we started, that I wish I could somehow like send myself a message when I was a teenager and say, hey, guess what you're going to be doing when you're in your mid-20s? Like, you're going to make it through high school. This is just a period of life, and this is not the end. This is the beginning, and you got to get through this so that you can get to the next part, the good stuff.
Right.
And to know that you're not alone and that there is help. I'm a major advocate of getting help when needed. When I was, a teenager, it was such a faux pas to talk about, going to therapy, or I have depression. It was like such a hush kind of, we can't talk about that.
Yeah, people didn't really want to know about it.
Right. But now I feel like we need to have more of a conversation. We're having more of a conversation, but there can be more. There could always be more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Because therapists need therapists, and we all need a little bit of help. I feel like we need to keep our mental health in check just as we keep our physical health in check. Even if it's like once a year checkup with the doc, you got to get a physical. Okay, well, same thing with your mental health.
Exactly.
I go a lot, more than once a year. But that's what I need to take care of myself. I need to go every other week, and I need that. And I am not ashamed of it, and I'm very actually open about it, and I wish that more people were as well. And so that people knew that there are options, and especially as like young women, I feel like asking for help is such a tough thing to do. I don't know what you guys think about that.
No, it's true. Hi, Katia. It's true. Katia, call in if you can, because I think your story is very inspirational also. And if anyone have any inspirational stories that they want to share about their life. I wasn't cutting you off.
No.
The number to call in is 718-705-4959 or 914-969-6499. Again, the number is 914-969-6499 or 718-705-4959. Faith, to piggyback off of what you said also, about mental health. I am one also that suffered from depression. My depression came when I was actually already in corporate America.
Oh wow.
Yes. My story, mostly everyone know that I was bullied and teased when I was in school. And then when you step into corporate America, that's a whole nother level of being bullied also, because now you're going from kids to adults, and everyone is pretty much stepping over each other.
I think it's much
try
worse
and get
in
ahead.
Adulthood sometimes.
Yeah.
People know where to hit you below the belt.
Yes.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Yes. And for me, it was very difficult to move along through corporate America, and I fell into a depression over that. So I definitely understand, about depression and how real it is. And I encourage, people to not be ashamed to go out and get help.
Yeah. How did you get through that?
Through the depression? I sat with my doctor, and he told me, the biggest thing you have to do is figure out exactly, one, who you are. Like, you pretty much, are you in corporate America because you have to be in corporate America, or because it's something, I'm sorry, or is it something that you want to do? Are you trying to fit in? Like, what's going on for you to be in corporate? So I had to start analyzing my life, and I started to realize that's not what I really want to do. I don't want to be in corporate. I wanted money.
You're such a creative, like, knowing you now, like, you are the most, like, you're so creative. You have, like, all these other interests.
I would have never thought that you would have been in corporate America because of, like, how I know you now,
Right.
Yeah. Chasing, I was in school, and I was going to school, BMCC, Birmingham Community College, for journalism. But I wanted to make money at the same time. And people always told me, if you don't have a degree, you're not going to make money, you're not going to be able to do certain things. So I guess part of it also was me rebelling against other people, saying that I could do whatever I want to do. I made it onto Wall Street in investment banking, worked for some high-end top-tier banks, a lot of banks that we bank at now.
Oh, wow.
And people told me also I wouldn't be able to make, a good amount of money because I don't have a degree, and I eventually walked into six figures. You make the six figures, but it's like at the same time, I'm not happy.
Right. It's not worth it.
Happy. And I see how miserable people are in corporate America because they're creative individuals. They was in it for the same reason I was, chasing that money instead of chasing dreams and getting caught up and trying to climb that corporate ladder instead of doing exactly what makes you happy, because everybody main thing is something material.
Yeah.
Or
it's all about quality, not quantity.
Exactly. And I was like, this isn't for me. And it got to the point, I'm gonna say when I hit about maybe 31, 32, I was like, okay, this is not it for me anymore. So I started moving into my clothing line more, and then the next thing you know, other opportunities.
Were you scared?
Scared to step out?
Yeah, transition.
I was. Because we're conditioned to think
that we're only built for that.
Exactly. And that's the only means of survival.
Yes.
And it's like, no, it's not. There's so many other things out there, but I think everyone is just so impatient and they want to make that money quicker instead of chasing your dream and enjoying your life and trying to get what you want situated instead of what society think you should have.
And I think that's where we get stuck. It's like, we can't become a butterfly if we don't come out the cocoon.
Yes.
So bullying has been very, very hard. I've just started coming out about it. I guess, yeah, it's been, I never really talked about it before.
Why now?
Because I'm stepping out into new branches, and I just want to give myself more opportunities. And now I've become more comfortable with myself. So it's like, okay, let me go and try it. And, you try new things and you just open your mind. And it's crazy what you let your mind think that you can't do certain things. But then once that's gone, it's unlimited.
Yes.
So
it is.
It's been a long, tough journey, but you get through it.
Yes.
Like you said, it's like you didn't think that there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
So
yeah. And I think for the reasons that people bully other people, I think that's like the most craziest reason, like for weight, for complexion, because someone is smart, because someone is quiet.
You get bullied for everything.
Yes.
Every single thing.
Literally.
I'm like, that is the most corniest thing.
I got bullied when I was little because I liked art. Literally, because I didn't play soccer, and because I liked art. When in elementary school, that's what started it. I'll never forget. And honestly, when I was little, like I was a tiny little girl. I wasn't overweight until I was, I wasn't a plus size woman until I was in high school. So I didn't even get bullied until for that stuff until like later. So people were finding these reasons that were ridiculous, and that's what I grew up thinking, was that there has to be something wrong with everyone. Why me? Why me? Why is it, I'm basically just like every other little girl.
It is.
Yeah, what is it? Is that people pick. They pick. I remember I actually just saw a girl who I grew up with who used to bully me, and who is friends with a mutual friend of mine. And she got drunk and she ended up apologizing to me.
Oh, wow.
Did you record it?
No.
Did you record
But listen to
it?
this. She literally said, Faith, I am so sorry for everything that I did to you. We picked you for no reason. We literally, it was the group of girls, I remember it, is that one day we picked you. We said, we're going to ruin her life. Let's have fun. Wow. And it literally, they actually didn't have any reason. And actually, that made me feel better, finally. Be like, okay, it was you guys.
It wasn't me.
There was actually literally, it's just one day they decided, yep, it's Faith. We're picking her for the next 2 years. Next year, we're gonna do everything we can to try and break her. And
it actually,
it's kind of really messed up.
My mother used to tell me when I used to come home crying because I would get
oh my god, I remember those days.
Oh,
my
like
mother
every day
used to always tell me they're jealous of you. There's something about you that they don't have, so they're gonna find a way to try and bring
and
you
they
down.
see that you're gonna succeed.
Wait, that's what the girl said when I got to high school. When she started seeing what I'm doing, she's like, you turned out, like, through everything, you turned out to do all the things you're doing, like, you are incredible. I'm so jealous. Like, literally told me that, like, you were the one who got bullied, and now I'm the one who's now she was going through depression and everything because she realized everything that she had done to so many people. But then
back.
Somehow, exactly, I hate to say it, but like, you know, and how people do see how you get through that. People see me and say, wow.
And now the people who used to bully us actually look up to us now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing feeling.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it shouldn't happen. It's a shame that it happens in general. Like, that's a nice, like, side effect of it. You know what I mean? But what I feel like we need to do is we need to stop the bullying.
Yes.
We need to teach the bullies nip it in the bud there, not wait until 10 years later when we're out of high school and it's like, oh,
and now they realize,
by the way, I didn't know I was, whatever. We need to somehow make a change for now.
Yes.
And I think it is about, like, speaking up and like us, like, talking about it so in depth about
when you talk
what
about
happened.
it becomes more real because you stay stuck in your mind and you don't want anyone to know what's going on. But when you speak about it, you have a relief and you're like, oh my god, okay. And then stuff comes out that you didn't even know that was inside of you that bothered you, and you're like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And even, like, talking about it, I've talked about it to other people and they're like, oh my god, I had no idea. Like, I went to high school with you, like, I went into middle school with you, I didn't know that was going on. So it's like, I wish I could have talked about it sooner. Like, wait, well, I was being bullied too. It's like, well, why didn't we connect? Why didn't we support each other? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's the major conversation that we need to have about feelings.
Yes.
We all have, we need to be able to support each other and talk.
It's the most saddest thing when I read, when you look at Instagram and you see stories of kids who killed themselves because they couldn't take
that's
being
what
bullied.
I find most. It hurts my heart. Hurts my heart
because, like, they're like maybe 10 and up, and I'm like, that is the most saddest
even
thing.
younger, and I'm like, you're not even supposed to be thinking about stuff like that.
No.
Exactly, but people put those negative thoughts in your head, and it's like,
ingrained. It gets ingrained in you when you go to school, or when it's, even if some people are unfortunate to have that in their own homes. And they're bullied.
Oh my god, that's something else.
And then I think going through bullying, sometimes you cause it on yourself, and then you become your own bully.
Yes.
Because I was bullied at such a young age, and I was always a plus size girl, so it was since I was younger. So and then it gravitated in high school. It got even worse. That now it's like violent. Now we're getting physical because now you're hurting my feelings and me.
Yes.
I'm not just gonna take it.
Right.
And I took it for so long. You stay quiet and you
got
quiet.
physical?
And yes, girl.
Are you? No.
It got to the point where I wanted to do it too. I wanted to do it too.
You were like the sweetest little angel. I cannot imagine you laying a finger on anyone.
I am the sweetest. I am
like,
sweet.
You
but
defended yourself. You had to fight for your life.
And it's crazy that's what we have to do. Right. Why should it come to that point that you think of me in a different way? And because you don't like it, you have to put your hands on me?
Yep.
No, that's a violation.
No. Some people are just miserable. But when you're young, it's like when my mother used to say they're jealous of me, I'm like, but
what are they
why?
jealous of?
Exactly. Exactly. But then when you look into their life, you can see why they may be jealous. Like, we have
they're the ones with the issues. Yeah, exactly. We're the ones that are supported. We're the ones that have the loving parents, or whatever it is, and they're the ones who aren't happy with themselves, so they take it out on whoever else.
Exactly.
You crazy. I'm trying to
She
like
wants
take
to wear
pictures
the
and be on there
headphones.
because I'm like trying to take pictures at the same time. But yes,
it's really a sad thing.
it baffles me how someone wants to wake up in the morning and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna
And
cause
ruin
harm
your
to
life.
someone."
Yeah.
Like, I don't get
see
it.
it.
I could never do that.
No.
I see it all the time also in corporate America, also with managers and the way they talk to
Yeah,
people.
because it's another level. It's like an
Yes.
extreme. Like,
Yeah.
because what can you do? It's your
Yeah.
job.
That's
like
the
it's
thing.
your
Yeah.
boss. It's not like an equal. It's not like it's
That's the
you're
thing.
sitting next to someone in school. It's I can't even imagine what that must have been like.
Yes.
I would imagine threatening.
Yes, because they know you need money to survive, and they know that if you decide to quit, you may not find something right off the back, like soon as you walk out the door. So it's like they put you in these positions where they try to make your life miserable.
Yeah.
And
They
it
put
got
you in a box that they
Yes.
don't want you out of.
And it got to the point where I said, okay, we not doing this anymore. Here's what's gonna happen. Nina Monique, she's gonna treat you the way you want to be treated. I have my own stuff going on the side. You just give me my money and we'll be good. Like, let's just, that's it. I make friends along the way. I meet people who are creative also, who have things going on the side also. And we try to, empower each other and keep each other, I guess you could say above sea level so we don't
In
drown.
check. Yeah,
Right.
keep each other in check.
Exactly. So,
And I feel like everyone's in competition all the time, that they feel like there's no room for anyone else to succeed.
yes.
And that's the
my
mistake
God.
that everyone has made. Even I have made myself because I put myself in a box and I'm like, oh no, like I can't do that.
Yep.
But then it's like, because you feel like they've done it already and it's okay, they did good. I don't think I could do that
Yeah,
good. I don't think I'm gonna be better.
Exactly.
So I'll just stay
Exactly.
here on the sidelines, But people don't realize that you have to step out. You have to
Yes.
be proud of who you are,
Yep.
what you are already right now. Because if you don't love yourself right now, no one else is gonna love you. So
Talk about that also. Yes. When you repeat what you just said on that.
if you don't love yourself, no one else is gonna love you.
And that's something else I had to learn the hard way. Walking around with a hardened heart.
Yes.
You push people away. You're always angry. You're taking everything that happened to you.
Girl, you are speaking
along the
my
way.
soul right now. Like,
Along
that's
the
exactly what I
way.
said.
And it's like when you do that, you're blocking your blessings and you're blocking good people from coming into your life to try and help you move along. Because from the things that we've been through, we're thinking everybody is out to hurt us now, so I gotta walk around and protect myself.
It's funny. I'm still like that, but it's very minimal. But you don't realize how many relationships you've actually ruined, and you've
Yes.
done it.
Yes. Yes.
Girl.
It's hard. And another thing that I went through, and it's a very sensitive situation because since I was little, we have mended ways, but I grew up without my dad. I met him when I was in my what? Oh, there's a call on the line. Is that Katia?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Katia.
Hi.
Hey.
Wow.
Hi, how are you?
Being single, then I'm like, is my earring coming off? How are you, Miss Katia?
Girl, can't complain, won't complain.
That is great. Let me introduce you the way I want to introduce you, Katia. So,
Okay.
Katia is a really good friend of mine. She has a nonprofit called the lipedemaqueen.org. Correct me if I'm wrong, Katia.
You're doing right.
Okay. And through her organization, she empowers women to feel good about themselves, even despite of having lipedema.
Oh, that's incredible.
And her organization is very powerful. I went to two of her conferences that she had in Rutgers University. That's another place where I met Cruz, and I didn't even know I met him.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Katia, she also submitted her story, also. And could you tell everyone a little bit about your background? about what you went through growing up and how it shaped and molded you into the woman you are today.
Of course, of course.
Mhm.
Well, I grew up as an only child, and parents divorced very young. My mother became mentally ill when I was in the fourth grade, and I did get teased a lot about my mom growing up, and I was always a chubby girl for the most part of my life. I got teased about that, and sometimes I was a really quiet girl. I was extremely smart. They didn't really mess with me too much about that, but I did get bullied. Well, not too much bullied because I kind of would fight back against that, but they would try
Mhm.
to, make fun and bully about my mom and about my size and weight and everything. And I had to battle through that, not knowing that growing up, I had this disease and it got overlooked
Mhm.
growing up, and it was a rough road. I want to say growing up, one, not being able to have your mother to be able to help you like you needed because she was battling her own demons, so to say. When mental illness is a really hell of a thing, and
Mhm.
battling paranoid schizophrenia, that's
Yeah.
hard, and it was
Oh
rough all
gosh.
by itself.
Mhm.
And and then at the same time, just a lot of things I had to endure growing up with those things and ramifications that came behind it.
Mhm.
It was difficult, but not knowing what was going wrong with my body was even worse because it left me growing up younger with body image issues because I didn't care what doctor they took me to, what nutritionist they took me to, you know, whether I didn't eat no meats or whatever, my body just wouldn't change. And I didn't care how I worked out, what I did. And it that kind of scarred me growing up. And you'd be surprised. There's big women who actually have eating disorders because when
Mhm.
they was because of their body not responding and just it was just a blessing in disguise that I did have other strong women around me
Mhm.
who helped me realize that you're still beautiful and don't worry about what everybody else is saying.
Mhm.
And I was just blessed that I had that very early on because it helped me through and to make me into the woman who I am today. And even though my mother had her issues, watching her gave me strength because even though she was battling what she did, she still would try to fix herself up, even on the days where it was starting to get rough for her. She
Mhm.
would still try, and that's what kind of gave me my fire, my tenacity to just keep going through everything and just say, you know what, if I can see other women who's going through bad things, I can do it too.
Mhm.
And my whole thing is when I started my nonprofit was to be able to show women like, listen, I'm stage 4, and no matter what, I keep fighting,
Mhm.
and I still keep living. I never let anyone tell me I couldn't do because I always heard people say, "Oh, you can't ice skate because you're that
Yep.
size." I
Mhm.
learned how to do it, and I did it well.
Yep.
Oh, you can't do this because you're that. I always had that because they always would look at me and say, "Oh, you can't." But that's not true.
Right.
I don't care what anybody say. You can do it. Even um when we did the aqua run last year for our nonprofit to raise money to get
Mhm.
compression garments for women. I wasn't feeling good that day, but I still ran that 1K. I
Mhm.
might not have won, but I ran them 40 laps in 37
Yes.
minutes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You go,
So,
girl.
Yes.
so it just,
Congratulations.
thank you. So it just shows you, if you really want something, I don't care what it is. A woman says it best. Her
Oh,
name is
okay.
Lisa Nichols. She's a motivational speaker. She said, if you have fear on one hand and passion in the other, you can still go and you just leap. Because it's better to leap and try and fail than never try at all.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know,
Yep.
I'd rather fall and get back up and try again than never do because then guess what? I'm doing a misjustice for myself
Mm-hmm.
and everybody else around me.
Yep.
Because
Yes.
you know your greatness, and you have to see where your life is and how great your life can be, and who you might can help
Mm-hmm.
through your own story and through your own pain can help somebody else.
Yes. And
Yeah.
can you tell everyone about the conference that you have during the summer and the purpose of it?
Well, it's called the Courage Meets Courage Conference and
Mhm.
Fashion Show,
Mhm.
where we have this to help for lipedema awareness. We bring doctors and other specialists there so that women can learn about this disease, because I'm telling you, 17 million women in the United States alone suffers this.
Mhm.
Go
Wow.
undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, because it mimics obesity. And you'd be surprised how many women is walking down the street has this and won't know, because a lot of doctors in the United States doesn't know,
Mhm.
and it's not really being taught in the schools, the
Mhm.
medical schools. So I do this, and I try to do it in the urban areas, because a lot of times the other conferences are expensive. But I wanted to be able that it can, people who might not can afford to be able to go to this. Not only is it help teaching you about your body, but also teaching you to love yourself no matter what,
Mhm.
and to live bold,
Mhm.
bright, everything, you
Yeah.
know,
Be that
and to
rebel.
give women. Yes, yes, yes. I always been a rebel. Big time.
Which is
I
awesome.
definitely have always been. And you have to be, because you know what? I don't care what size you are, how short, how tall, how wide, how thin. There's always going to be somebody that's going to have something to say.
Yep.
And you know
Yes.
what?
Amen.
At the end of the day, I don't want to go to my deathbed and be like, dang, I wish I would have did this. Man, I wish I would have did that. Honey, it is pretty much not too much of nothing that Katia hasn't really done. I've traveled. I done been on the beaches topless. I done model. I done been in beauty pageants. I done did everything that a woman my size you would have never thought have done.
Mhm.
And that is the point. Living bold, living out loud, and not caring what others think. And 9 times out of 10, once you show up and show out, a lot of times then they're like, wow,
Mhm.
dang, I wish I would have did that. And so guess what? You have, what's the point not to? Do it. Don't worry about what others think, because at the end of the day, they think in the back of their head, man, I wish I had the courage or the confidence to do that.
Yep.
So,
Live fearlessly.
Yes, you have to. You definitely have to. And I went to both conferences that Katia held, and they were very inspirational to me to see women walking down the runway, strutting their stuff with their clothes. And I wish that a lot of this was out when I was coming up.
Yeah.
You know, there was very few plus size women on TV that I could, you know, look up to. I loved Queen Latifah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I met her
Yeah.
once and
Oh,
I
wow.
cried. No, it was
Yes.
just like tears.
Yes.
It was super
Yes.
embarrassing.
That must have been amazing.
It
Yes.
was. I like blacked out.
I love Queen Latifah
But
and the
there's
things
still
that
only
she
a
do.
few, and I wish
Yes.
that there were more.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it is about, you know, like you and me and everyone here, like taking these steps to have a voice and to be seen and to tell our stories so that we can be a mini version of Queen Latifah for other people.
Yes,
You know,
You
it's
know,
funny.
yes.
When I was younger,
Yes,
when I was
yes.
younger, I never thought that this would be like we would be here
Yeah.
to this day.
Yep.
I never thought that I would have like a room full of my plus size beauties with me all, you know, celebrating ourselves also. And that's the problem. We don't celebrate ourselves.
Exactly.
So we need to celebrate ourselves and celebrate each other because we have so
every day.
so many talents and we've accomplished so much, but we don't talk about it.
Right. Right.
So
Like, for me, that's part of the reason why I started this radio show, to give other people that platform to come in and talk about, you know, what they're doing and how they got to where they are, because I think those stories are very important to get out to everyone, because people think a lot of things are not possible. And I always say, stop thinking things are impossible. Anything is possible, like Katia said, if you really want it.
yes.
and I didn't know I was gonna get into radio. But here I am, and
How awesome
when
is that, though? Like, that's so cool.
I was given, this opportunity, I remember I went home. Well, I was in my room, and I said to God, I was like, you know what you just did? You just put a microphone in front of me, and I was like, I hope you know what you're doing, God, because it's gonna be on.
He knew what he was doing, baby. He knew.
I'm thankful and grateful for having this, where I could have women like you and Nina and Katia on the phone, and we could come together and talk about how important it is to love who you are as a person and not let other people stop you from loving who you are and getting to the destination you want to get to in life. And for those kids out there, again, who's going through the bullying, it's hard to get through. And it's like when people say, how do you overcome bullying? And in my opinion, it's like, I can't tell someone how to overcome it because it's a struggle.
Yeah, everyone goes through different
it's a
situations.
Exactly.
It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
But we have to learn what steps to take, and we have to learn what's best for us in our personal journey.
Yes.
No two people are the same.
Yeah.
I think that all of us have come a very long way, but we still go through struggles every day. But every day is a learning process.
Yes.
You have to learn to love a little bit more about yourself every day, because we're
Exactly.
constantly transitioning and transforming.
Right, exactly. And for me, like when I watch TV at times and I see how people say one way to help get yourself through bullying in school is talk to teachers. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I that doesn't really work for me either, because when I was living in North Carolina, my mom, was trying to give me a new environment, and we moved to North Carolina, and it was, instead of it being a great experience, it turned out to be a bad experience, because growing up here, you get bullied and teased, but for me, what I look like and the color of my skin wasn't an issue. And even though I grew up in the inner city, we still had kids of different nationalities in our school. So I knew how to open myself up and accept people, because my mother taught me, everyone is human. Like,
you got taught the right way. Which unfortunately I feel like a lot of kids aren't, and that's where the bullying comes along, is that because they don't know, and they, they're probably, that's the tough part.
Exactly. And when we got down there, I experienced segregation in a different way than what they actually wanted you to see. Like, the kids were comfortable sitting in different sections of the classroom. You see one group of kids over here, one group of certain kids over here, one over there. And then when I would try and, move over and speak to them, the teachers would get mad. And I'm like, what is going on? And then when you get online to go to lunch, you have a certain group of kids in the front, the next group of kids in the back, and then the next one in the middle, and they're just used to that segregation. And for me, that was an eye-opener, and I was like, this is not what I'm used to, and it made me defiant. My grades went down.
Wow.
I went to F's.
That does happen.
Yes. And it was hurtful, and my teachers didn't help any, because they instigated the whole situation.
Sometimes they was part of the problem.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Exactly. I had a teacher refer to me because she didn't know my name as the fat girl. And I was like, are you serious? Yes.
That's
she didn't know my name.
That's
so
really disgusting.
She was like, I'm talking about the fat girl over there, the fat black girl. And I was like,
the fat black girl? Are you serious?
Yes. And it hurt me. And from there, my level of respect for some teachers went down. I just held a lot of things.
How old was you?
I was in high school.
But that's still, that doesn't matter. That's like...
It was hurtful. And from there,
that's horrible.
Whatever self-esteem I had, it just fell.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, now you have your teachers.
It diminished even more.
You. So it destroyed me.
And you already feel alone,
exactly.
know? And to
have the adults not even have your back. Well, that was the thing when I was in school. Like, I remember I would try to go to teachers. There was a quote unquote zero tolerance policy for bullying, which no one ever put into place. Which was the issue, is that I went to the principal, I went to the teachers and they did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, well, we can't do anything about that. It's like, well, yes, you can.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can.
That's what you're there for.
Like,
You know, like
Exactly.
our
that's
parents.
the whole point. Thankfully,
Oh
my
my
gosh.
God.
Thankfully, I had parents who were like, you know, the most supportive people on the face of the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know that a lot of people don't have. So I was very,
Yes.
very lucky, very beyond. Can't even have
Oh.
the words to say
Yes.
how lucky
Blessed,
I am.
baby. We're
Mhm.
blessed
But,
with wonderful parents.
You know, I think that that we need in the schools to have the teachers support us as well.
Yes.
When when your kids are having, like me, food thrown at me every day, getting shoved into lockers, getting physically pushed and called names and having your personal property destroyed, you know, every single day, I think the teacher should step in
Yes.
and say,
Exactly.
hey, no, you can't do that.
One
Yep.
time I actually got into a physical fight, and
Yeah.
the teacher got in the middle. So that was very brave of him.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, you know, he got hit a few times, but, you know, like, it's just, and it's crazy, because if the teachers did step in, it wouldn't have came to that point.
Exactly.
Right.
It doesn't ever have to come to that
No.
point. There has to be someone there to stop it and advocate for you, because we're so scared that we don't want to advocate for ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially
So-
children. Children are
Yeah.
children. They are not
They're
adults.
Yes,
Mhm.
they're
We
very
need
Yeah.
vulnerable.
adults to step in. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I think that falls in line too with a lot of school shootings also, because you have
That's
kids.
one thing right now that's really,
Yes,
really out of
yes.
control. I have never
Yeah.
seen it so
yes,
bad.
Yes. And it's like for example, the first one that I remember is the Columbine one.
Yes.
And I was in high school
Yeah.
when that happened. And don't get me wrong, like what those guys did was wrong, but it's like, okay, before we start attacking what was wrong with them, you know, it's like what
What drove them to that level?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I feel, you know, a lot of kids may feel like no one is there to protect them, and they take matters into their own hands.
Right.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's what happened
Yeah.
with them. I'm just saying, you know,
That's what happens.
exactly.
A lot of times that
Yeah.
do be the case, though.
Yep. And
You know, because I remember boys used to pick on me. I remember this one boy, I was in elementary school, kept picking on me. So one day I got my girls. We came after school. We followed him home, and they ran after him and chased him. They held him, and girl, I knocked him to the ground and I sat on him. I said, "Oh, so I'm fat, huh? I'm fat, huh?"
Talk about girl power. Oh my God.
We-
Oh, I'm gonna sit on it. Oh my god.
I said, now I bet you won't call me fat no more.
Did he ever again?
You know what? Later on, like a few days later, he came up to me. He said, "Tia, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it, but." He was like, "My birthday's this weekend. You want to come to my birthday party at
Oh my God.
Did you go?
Actually, I did. And
You know what? Hey.
my grandfather had gave me a leather making set where I could make belts and stuff. I actually made him a little leather belt, and I brought it to him for his birthday.
did you beat him?
And I
with it?
handmade it myself. So, yeah, I got over it. But, you look,
That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah, good for
Yes.
you. And then
Yes.
to go and be like, hey, like now we're at this understanding.
Yes,
you-
and
you
it's
know.
crazy
Yeah.
because we can't always
to
turn
move
it around
forward.
like that.
Exactly.
And if we learned how to turn the situation around like that, then there wouldn't be as many school shootings.
Yes.
There wouldn't be as many Columbines.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, I think
I
that
guess
though-
we look, listen, you sit on your oppressors and
Literally.
Oh my gosh.
and squeeze the oppression out of them, and then they leave you alone.
Yes. That's a good one.
That's funny.
Oh
So I
my
do think though
God.
that those shooters though, that is a kind of a completely separate type of person though than a regular bully. Those
Yeah.
are murderers. That is not a regular mental illness. That is something completely different. I think
Different.
that bullies
Yeah.
do not grow up into murder,
Murder, yeah.
Serial killers.
Yes.
So, but I totally get that with the regular bullies. You know,
Yeah.
we should do that.
Yeah.
I think with these shooters and things, I think that it is. I personally think it's a separate issue. I think it's a completely different thing. but definitely sit on your bullies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Squeeze the hate out of them.
And I find that we have to show people, like, don't mess with me.
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
you know, you
Yep.
can't, once people know that you're broken down, that's it. They have you. And then they keep breaking you and breaking you.
Yeah.
And breaking you.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, that was
yeah.
the thing was
And
that,
they-
like, my therapist, like, when I was in middle school, told me to go, because it was really, really bad, and would tell me, like, you don't show them a thing. You go in and you smile and you hold your head up. But that was the thing, was that every day I'd have this smile plastered on my face, and I remember going home every day. I always tell this story, and I would cry because my face hurt so bad from smiling all day.
Yeah.
And my mom would, and I would just go home to my mom and be physically exhausted because I was putting on a literal face of I'm okay, I'm fine, to show them, just so that they couldn't have the upper hand. And I feel like it helped somewhat, but it clearly wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Because then they thought it was fine, and they could just keep doing it. So I feel like it depends. But you know, we all have to be strong, and we have to fight our battles in the ways that are best for each of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everybody's different and has different ways of fighting their situations. Because I tell you, in high school, I think high school was a little bit worse because my mother's illness like turned up a whole new level, and she was actually coming into my school, and she had her episodes, and it was this one girl, and after my mom that same day had came into school and kind of showed out a little bit, and they had to literally escort my mother out, and then I went into my history class, and this one girl just started messing with, you know how they had the desk that had the desk attached to the chairs.
Yeah.
And you know, I always had a lot of booty, a lot of hips.
I hate
So
those
I was
chairs,
trying
girl.
to-
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was trying to get into the chair, and the girl go to her, look at her, she can't even fit her, excuse my language, her fat ass into the desk.
Ugh.
And she just messed with me at the wrong moment. My teacher just saw my eyes like, what's the turn red? I got up, I picked the desk up and put it over my head.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
went to throw it at her. Luckily, the teacher ran, and he caught it. He told that girl, he said, get out. He told the girl to get out. She said, but she tried to hit me with the desk. He said, but you was messing with her, and you should have not been picking with this girl.
Exactly.
And
You
he
don't
kicked
know the
her
level,
out.
You don't know what people are going through. I tell that a lot to people also, like, especially at work. I'm like, you know, you're out here causing chaos. You don't know what your employees are going through on a daily basis. And then you have to walk into into another environment with the same hostile, you know, type of people. And I'm like, you creating, you know, your own little war to, you know, pop off. And I'm like, you can't be walking around doing that. And I again, you know, with the bullying, and it's just, I think it's a sad situation, you know, that people have to experience. I really, really do, because some people don't come out of that, and they walk around and harbor that for a very long time.
Right.
And it is find some way to seep into your everyday life. It affects something, so you know, you have to find some type of way to relieve that. And I was always one personally for holding stuff in. And I learned from that also, because when you do that, you're, you know, making yourself sick on the inside. And you shouldn't allow yourself to go through that. You really shouldn't. So this is a fun conversation. I'm loving this.
There's a lot. I'm like, it's a shame, but I always feel like I could talk about this stuff like forever, because it you know, it needs to go on forever, and and that's how change can be made. Is for hopefully people to know that they're not alone. You know, and that, you know,
like they say, be the change that you want to see.
Exactly.
Yes.
Be catalyst,
Yep.
And how we've harbored all of that we've gone through, and now we're here doing like you have your organization, you have your radio show, you know, we all have our things now that we're doing. We're putting good into the world because of all of the negative hate that we have received in our lives. We turned it into good. We turned it into power, into strength, and to be the positivity in the world. And to not, like, that's always my thing, is that I refuse, no matter what I do in life, I refuse to be a part of any of the negative and the hate, because there's too much of it. There's too much hate in this world right now, and I refuse to be a part of it.
It's overwhelmingly too much.
Yes. And that's, you know, why I try to, one, stay away from TV, because I don't want to see the negative stuff. I can't stand to see it.
That's why I only watch, like, cartoons. I only watch, like, stupid things. I watch, like, silly things because, like, you know.
But for me, also, it's hard to stay away from the news, because I'm in investment banking and everything is about stocks. Everything is tied to basically our government with money and everything. So it's like, while I'm sitting there trying to do my work, all you see is people looking at the TV, and you see, you know, crazy stuff going on. And I'm like, oh, come on. Or I'm going to the bathroom and they have all TVs lined up. So they don't have it on Channel 7. They have CNN, NBC, and all this stuff. And I'm like, can I just catch a break? And then I walk outside thinking I can, and then everybody talking about what's going on. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me put my headphones on. But I can't listen to stuff all the time because I get a headache. So, you know, it'll
drive you crazy.
Yes. So it's like, I have no way out at times, and sometimes I'm like, I can't deal with this, and that's when I just, like, which isn't good, I just draw up and stay to myself for a minute, and I'm like, it have to get better somewhere along the line, which is why I think it's important that, like Faith said just now, we have these conversations, because there's a lot of people who's going through a lot of things mentally, and I just hope, you know, with us talking about, you know, bullying in our situation, and just learning how to love and accept ourselves and appreciating our journey, even though it was hard, but you looking back at it and it's like, okay, I get why I had to go through that. Now I understand, like, it applies to this, and that. And when you open up and you don't walk around with that hardened heart like I did, you meet people like Faith, you meet people like Katia, you meet people like Nina, you meet people like Cruz, you meet people like Charles, you meet people like Sean Montgomery, you meet people like Natasha. You meet just wonderful people. And I think that's the most important thing that you have to remember. You are human, but you have to come out of that funk somewhere along the line in your life.
And I feel like we have to surround ourselves with more positive people and who are on the same journey as we are, because, you know, like, teamwork makes the dream work. It really does.
It's true.
I know, it's like, so
that.
it's like,
I love it.
it's so great. Like, you know, people always say that, and it's like, I never really realized that, because you feel like you're so alone. But once you have people who are there to support you and who truly love you and who are out there for your best interests, then it changes the whole story. And oh god, I get lost in my words. I'm sorry. I like starting and I stop. But like you said, like, if Natasha and Faith, like, I'm very glad to be here with Faith and Nina, because we're making history right now, or her story. Hello, you know, and Katia. So, you know, I'm glad that we have finally, you know, stepped out of our comfort zone and decided to talk about it, because we are helping other people. Like Faith said earlier, you know, she wants more Queen Latifahs, but we are the future Queen Latifahs. They're the future Ninas, and they're going to be future Faiths and future other Nina Moniques, you know? So I am very happy that we are here today talking about it.
And also like to talk about, I always like to talk about that, even, like, I still struggle with, like, depression and things like that, anxiety. But it's different than how I used to go through it. That's the thing, is, like, I do suffer from, you know, clinical depression, anxiety, OCD. I got the whole list. But I'm doing all of these things now, and I've harnessed it, and I've learned about myself, and I know how to take care of myself, and I can. And yes, you know, I always say not every day is easy, but every day is worth at least trying. You know, to continue to be the good, even though, yes, we may still struggle sometimes, and there are still some bullies, you know, through your life. Bullies go into adulthood, like, you know, like in your profession and all the things. Unfortunately, some people are just that person in their lives, and they cannot change.
They're going to be
and
miserable
that's
for the rest
unfortunate
of their
because they
lives.
end up being your coworkers or your boss or someone, right? Or you know,
sometimes family too.
Right, family or in the relationships.
Yes.
You know, your boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever.
Yep.
And but just learning how to deal with those. You know, we conquered the bullies when we were younger, so we can learn how to conquer the bigger bullies when we're older in a healthier, mature way and make a difference because of it.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yes.
For
and
sure.
That's what I had to do, and it was a very tough thing to, you know, overcome because I was like, I had to go through this when I was little. Why do I have to deal with this with a adult?
Right.
It's exhausting.
Like,
but it's not about you. That's the thing. It's about them. It's not you. Those were the little kid bullies that grew up into big kid bullies, you know?
And a lot of times the ones that bully is usually people that's very miserable and got a lot going on with them.
Yeah.
People who's hurt other people.
Yes.
A lot of times.
Yes.
You know, and they just don't know how to channel it, and they don't know how to express that they need help. And that's a lot of times, a lot of those bullies, if you ever sit down and you speak to some of them, and I have after, you know, we might have went through fisticuffs or whatever and so forth, and you get down to the nitty gritty, a lot of times they hurting, and they just don't know what to do with that anger. So in order to make them feel better about themselves, they make somebody else feel just as miserable as them.
Yes.
And a lot of times that's what it really be about, because they bad. You know how they say misery loves company?
Yes.
So a lot of times that's what it really be at.
Yes.
You know, so.
That's something else I could, you know, say that I went through. Katia, you know, because I told you a few times about the relationship I went through where I was with someone who was verbally abusive. And when I look back at it, I remember sitting down having conversations with him, and he told me about his upbringing, and it was basically a repeated pattern of what happened to him when he was growing up, watching what his father, watching what his father did to his and his mother. So people find some way to relive their childhood, and they don't even know it. And instead of trying to make things better, they find ways to continue the pattern and make other people's lives miserable.
Generational curse.
Yes. So, like I said, I'm loving this conversation.
And I also feel that you have to sort of kind of train people how to treat you.
Yes.
And because it shows on the outside.
Yes.
You know, if on the outside you know you're positive and you look good, you know, like people will start treating you like that. You know, treat others how you want to be treated, but you still have to train people.
Right.
Because if you let people walk all over you, that's just exactly what they're going to do.
Yes.
Right.
But if you show them that you're here and you're the boss and you're not going to take anything, then, you know.
Sit on them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sit on your oppressor.
That's
the
Katia method.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to call it. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yes, that's the Katia method.
I wish that I had more of that fight in me when I was little to stand up for myself.
Me too.
Because I didn't.
Me too.
You know, I handled things the quiet, silent
Me
way.
too.
It was very just kind of let it happen and didn't say anything, and then would walk through the halls with my mouth shut and tried to keep my head high, but I didn't actually say anything or
that
I kind of did the opposite.
Yeah.
I went physical with it. It can go either way.
It can go because I don't know, I guess I shut down. I completely.
But it's also the type of person we are, you know.
Yeah. It's that fight or flight. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're being attacked, whether it's verbally or whatever, you know, because bullying is an attack. What is your thing? Do you fight or flight or do you go catatonic? I guess I suppose I went catatonic.
I did.
You know,
I did.
But I still asked for
fight.
help. I made sure that I asked, told my mom, I told my dad.
Right.
I ended up going to therapy, thank God. And then learned how to get through it in other ways because confrontation was not for me.
It's still not for me. But it's like when I have to come out of my character, I feel bad not for them but for me, because I'm like, this isn't who I am.
You let them ruin you.
Exactly. I gave them that few minutes of
power.
Exactly.
Right.
You gave them that much power.
And it drives me crazy. Yeah. And I try to reserve myself as much as possible, but like my mother always say too, sometimes you gotta get them. You gotta get them.
I feel like now, like as I've gotten older, I've been more. I like defend myself more. Definitely, because I'm like, I'm getting too old for this. Like, no, like,
exactly. And it's like now, I feel like, you know, because of what you're doing now, you have to defend yourself now. Yeah. You have to be outspoken, because a lot of people want you to just sit in the back and let them control you. And it's like, no, you have to now speak up. And
definitely.
Exactly.
And that's why I am so like vocal about these issues with my platform, because I'm like, anyone who follows me has to know that I have a zero tolerance policy, but I enforce it now. Yes, you know what I mean? Yes. And that whether it's comments on my page, or whether it's friends, or whether it's, you know, someone, you know, whatever, it's not okay to, you know, act like children. It's not. We're adults.
Right.
And we need to respect each other, because in this world right now, there's not enough respect, and there's not enough conversations, and I'm going to force it out of you if I have
to. Yes. That's another thing, too, with how do you feel about social media and bullying? Oh, my gosh. What do you think?
Oh, I had a horrible situation with that. After my conference, the first year conference, if you remember, I was on that stage all day, and then I modeled at the end. Somebody who was actually a friend on my page, I ain't gonna say their names, took the picture and didn't realize it was me, because they hadn't seen a full body picture of me in years. And they posted up there like, oh, look at her. She must really don't take care of herself. And look at her. She couldn't even wear shoes and all this other stuff or whatever. And somehow I saw the picture and I read into the comments, and I seen a lot of the guys talking crap, but then a lot of women chimed in like, look, she looked like she has a condition. She looked like there's something wrong. Like, I don't think it's, you know, the women was really coming for, you know, protection. And I saw that. Man, I lit up. And I saw red, and I'm like, and I had all of my mind sit on my oppressor, and I said, you know, I have a stage 4 disease, and I said, you know, I just lost my mother to the complication of the same disease that I'm battling, and I said, you know, it's real funny that you talking about this young woman, and me and you are friends, and that's me. And I just made him feel so low. And then after that, everybody started jumping on him or whatever. And then he ended up inboxing me and just kept apologizing and everything. And I accepted the apology, but I let him know, like, listen, you don't know what somebody is going through. I said, did you know I was on my feet? You know, I was up almost 12 hours, 6 hours on my feet, just about off and on straight, and still had to walk in the show at the end. I said, so you don't know. I still walked in that show. My feet was hurting. I kicked my shoes off because my feet was hurting, and I still ran that runway like it was nobody else's business. So I said, so for before you say something, know the whole story, know the whole situation, and don't always be so quick to judge. You talk about you love plus-size women. I said, yes, I might be a bigger size plus-size woman, but I said I'm still a beautiful plus-size woman. I said, so you just remember, you don't do that to nobody else. And see, you never know who might be linked to somebody else that might be linked to somebody else that it might get back to them. I said, so you won't do that no more.
Yes. That social media.
It was just a blessing that I'm strong enough in my life to be able to handle that, you know, because even though I had to make sure I got thick skin, because when I did that show for TLC, that documentary, my legs won't start growing. I knew that there was going to be a chance where people will automatically assume that, oh, I'm big because of this or that or whatever, so forth. You know, I had to prepare myself for stuff like that, even though it's still hard, because once it hits, you know, it still stings. I don't care what nobody say, but it's just how you bounce back from it all, you know. But I was hot over there. I was really hot.
Yeah,
I would be too.
It's. I think social media have its good and its bad points.
Yes, it does. It's so
yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
It's so quick.
Yes.
Not only not only do you get embarrassed in front of you know, in school in front of the class, but now you're embarrassed in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
So it's a bigger platform. You know, we can use our platform to the positive, but then
and then
people love the negative
too. Like, it's one thing like when you're in school and it's like, oh, Billy from down the street, but then it's like some random person in Australia saying, oh, go die, you fat person. You know, that's a whole nother issue of but then also social media is tough. It's we have to use it for the right reasons. Like each of us are doing. I think we're doing pretty damn good job of it.
I refuse to I refuse to go into that dark place. I really do, because I'm like.
And so many people do, though, and that's the issue. People use Twitter to make mean jokes. People use their stories to go on rants bullying people, or, you know, talking, you know, bad about even celebrities or anything, or just random people, or, oh, this and the, you know, like, no. Put good into the world, and the world will be good, or, you know, better.
Exactly.
Better, at least.
That's why I took it back.
Be somebody different instead of following the crowd. Like that. Natasha knows.
Be a rebel.
I don't like
Natasha Nurse?
Yes.
Oh, I love her.
She know I don't like social media. And she always, you know, try her hardest. I need you to post a little bit more. Come on,
my God,
you could do it. You could do it. You could do it.
And I'm like, that's so funny.
I'm like, I, Natasha, I really hate social media, but I'm like, okay, I'll try it.
Yeah, because you have to use, you have to use it
because I have a business
in the way and in the good way.
Yes.
You know, you have this opportunity to be a good account.
Yes.
To not be the troll, not to be the hater, whatever all the terms are. You get to be one of the good people.
Like, now it's time for us to lead.
Yes.
Yeah. We get to be the ones that are putting the good into the internet world, and you know, to be and to have people follow and support so that we can grow more positive and inspire others to do the same. Like, that's the whole point, right? I mean, social media is a way to outreach to a lot more people than you would normally.
All over the country.
And it's, you know, I have, well, now I have 4 Instagram accounts, 2 Facebook accounts, 2 Facebook pages, a website, a LinkedIn, a Snapchat. It's a lot. It is excessive. Their faces
I get
are
overwhelmed.
shocked. And it's overwhelming.
Lord.
But you know, and it's like my personal accounts.
Hey,
I keep my personal accounts, you know, separate. But the accounts that are public, I know that I have a duty, and it is my duty to put good things out and to put positive things out, and to share my stories, to share the struggles, and to share, but in the positive light and in the inspiring light, so that other people can do the same, instead of just, you know, spewing hate speech or bullying or making fun of it. All the memes. Oh my God. All of the memes. And like, I love a good puppy meme. Okay, I love a good food meme.
Thank you, Richard.
You know, like whatever. But like, God help me if I see another meme making fun of someone, or like about a particular, you know, you know what you guys know what I mean. There's so many.
It gets me angry that people actually share that stuff.
Whether it be like gender or race or like anything, just like why? I'm doing so many hand motions. I like went from down here to like up here real quick.
And because like our platforms, like as plus size models, I don't want people to misconstrue the body positive or the anti-bullying with us being so, you know, we have come a long way, but we still do struggle. And you know, I don't want to be fake to someone. Oh yeah, I'm body positive, and then, you know, so I wrote something the other day and someone totally misconstrued it. You know, because like my situation is my situation. You are not there to judge me or correct from what I have experienced.
Exactly.
And I think that's the issue, though, is that, like, I 100% identify as body positive. However, here's the thing that is the issue with quote-unquote body positivity is that if you're body positive 100,000% of the time, I don't think that exists. But good for you. If you are the one person in the world, that is awesome. That is unrealistic. And
when people say stuff like that, I'm like, where do you
invalidate your body positivity journey. Like, because like I am body positive, but I still struggle. I still have my moments, but because I'm vocal about them, like that's what I think is important.
That's what makes
the days
so
where
much
I'm like,
stronger.
you know what, I woke up not feeling so hot, and this is why, and this is it. But okay, wake up tomorrow, I can do better. You know, I can start over. But like, I think that, and that comes to social media, is that like, oh, there's so many like. It's good to be good, but it's also like not good to be fake about being good.
Right.
Like,
it's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to like. I see so many, especially like models and quote unquote body positive models and things, that it's just like you can see right through it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's better than just being outright negative.
You have to,
but it's like also like that's not making progress.
Yeah.
Is lying.
It's not being real.
Not being authentic and not being genuine about what needs and because we can't make change if we're you know kind of not telling the full truth about it, because then people don't know.
You could be body positive and still be like, you know what, I still have good days, I still have bad days, and it's just the point of loving myself through the good and the bad.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the issue, is that like, so if like I were a little girl looking to on Instagram at one of those people online saying I'm body positive 100% of the time, then I'd be like, oh dear God, why am I not like that? Why can't
you
I
have
get
to be
there?
relatable
to
your
like,
audience and to your
target.
target.
Then I would internalize that and be like, oh my God, now something's wrong with me because I can't. It would make it even worse.
And I think people like once they step into that, they think that they're body positive all the time. You kind of psych out your mind.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't leave any room for anything else.
Yep. Exactly. Oh man, I'm loving this. I am loving this.
Girl, yes.
I have a lot to say.
Go ahead.
I have a lot of feelings. Like, really.
As we all do.
Yes.
And we shouldn't be ashamed to speak about them.
Yes. Hi everybody on Instagram and hi everybody on Facebook. Hi.
There's that hey.
Yes.
Got someone here. All right. Cool.
Yes, this is very much what I was going for with this show. It's very important to pass on good energy, very good information. So this is exactly what I wanted. Thank you, Faith and Nina.
You're
welcome.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're the best.
You are.
This is what needs to happen.
This is amazing.
I definitely would like to put together some type of panel,
like a permanent kind of thing.
Yeah.
Girl, we're here for it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Like we could rent out like maybe a hall or something, and we could have like some women up there to talk about their journey, and women could come in and
fashion show.
Yes. Sip some wine and some more d'oeuvres and hear
well, some of y'all could actually. I would love for some of y'all to actually come to the conference and speak of your journey.
Where is it? Is it once a year? Is it? Tell us about it.
It's going to be this year again at Rutgers. It's going to be in June.
Okay.
So we usually have it on a Sunday. It's usually from 12 to 6.
Is it in New York
So
City?
I would. Rutgers in New Jersey. In North.
That's more towards my neck of the woods. So that's great.
That's good.
So we can all connect up, because the thing of it is, because last year we not only just did lipedema awareness, we also did women's health, because a lot of women doesn't realize there's so many other conditions, especially women's health issues, that could cause you to gain weight, and that could cause your body to go crazy. And we allow young girls in for free. Like I had met up with other organizations that had young girls, and we allowed the young girls to come in free, because if the young girls catch this stuff young, then they don't have to grow up as older women suffering later on down the road, because anything is catching it early,
Right.
and the mothers to be able to see, like, okay, this is going on with my daughter. Okay, now let me take her to this type of doctor so we can get these things straight early. Because that's if only, yes, that's the whole thing of it is. So not only is just lipedema awareness, it's women's health awareness.
Right.
It's so important because you'd be surprised of PCOS and endo that causes you to gain weight. And if you don't get those things in line, oh my goodness, especially a woman who has lipedema. If you have PCOS and lipedema, it makes the disease go crazy because lipedema is also a hormone-driven disease also. So it's just like, with lipedema, you have to fight on so many different levels. It's just like, it's hard. It's a really complex disease. And
but like you're making such a difference, like talking about it and like creating a safe space for like people to learn and people to get education about it and to bring awareness to it. Like I didn't really ever know too much about like any of these things until like semi recently, and I'm surprised it's taken me this long. I mean, it's because people don't talk about it, so it's to even talk about it. You know what I mean? I didn't know what PCOS was until like 2 years ago, and like it was because I found out like half the people I know, women I know, have it. Like, why is this not talked about? And no, it's really incredible. So I will be there at Rutgers then. For June, you said?
Definitely. I would love it because it's just you just be surprised of how many women. We walk around, we take care of our families and our husbands and the kids and everybody else, and we forget to take care of ourselves.
Exactly.
And if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else.
Katia, you didn't come up with a date for your event yet, right?
It's I'm leaning towards I think the 23rd.
Okay.
So I just got to put it in writing. So yeah, I got to go down there and put it in writing.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
All right.
I commend you
to
for
be
your
about
bravery and your courage, Katia.
Honey, I had no choice but to be brave. I'll be honest with you. When you had, I'm just saying, when you had a childhood that you've seen so much stuff and been through so many things, honey, you ain't got no choice but to be that. I'm being so honest. You have no choice. I finally just came to the conclusion to write my book because it's time. I was starting to write it back in high school, but I was still going through it. And when you still going through it, it's kind of hard because it's like you still trying to just cope at that moment. So now I can look back and like, wow, I overcame so much and I'm still here. So, it's time for my story to fully come out, and it's got to be raw and and it's going to be nitty gritty, but it's going to be funny here and there too, because I had a lot of crazy, funny stuff happen in between. But I'm going to be as raw as I can. Because it has to be authentic.
The whole journey. Yeah, that's the thing is that's what's I think really powerful is like sharing all of it, the laughs, the tears, the sweat, the blood, all of it. And I think that's what makes the most impact. You know what I mean?
People want realness.
Doing it.
Yes.
People want realness.
Yes.
And I think that's the beauty in being a woman, that we are so strong, and we, no matter what, we do what we have to do and we push through. And people kind of expect us not to be so strong.
Yes.
Because we're a woman.
Yes. Yes.
Which is totally the opposite.
Yes. But we are very feisty.
Yes.
Don't mess with our family and our money. Stay out of those zones.
Oh, man, please.
Stay out of those zones. And, I just learned so much along my way. And I'm just thankful that I'm able to share it and, again, have wonderful people to, talk about these issues with who get it. Because I think, again, it's important to have those type of people around you. They provide that support you know, your girlfriends when y'all sitting down drinking and having your wine and everything. Girl, let me tell you what I went through. What's that, girl? Well, you know what you need to do. This, and that. So it's like, you need those people around.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Finding your squad.
Non-judgmental though
Your
too.
support squad.
Yes.
You know, and teaming up to conquer the world.
How was that, Faith and Nina, you know, being models in the industry? Are there loyal squads, you know?
Well, I haven't been in the model industry too long,
Okay.
so
You've been here.
I have, but I've been like in, I've been in the, you know, I'm still coming out. I'm still coming out.
You're here. I'm still working my way, you know, but I think there are some good people, and there are some people that maybe I thought were the good people in the beginning that I'm realizing now maybe were the fake, you know, the positive, the fake empowering, the fake, you know, kind of support one. So it is about finding the good people. It's and in all the different avenues of like the fashion industry, like you know, like you two and Natasha and you know, like everyone, you know, and brands and things that are truly supportive. Like even like, you know, Yona New York, I'm wearing Yona New York right now, was the first, like one of the first like brands to like ever like see me and be like, yes, like we support you. Do this photo shoot. Do the first runway show I ever walked in was from Yona New York, and you know, they helped me get signed to my agency. Like they, like it is like finding like those people who are truly about the good in things, and you know, there are a lot of them. It's just about finding them. I think it is tough because there is this facade in fashion and in modeling where everyone's you know, kind of fab and sexy and great and positive, and I think that's sometimes true. I think it's sometimes not. I think though that I've definitely found some of the good ones, so I'm pretty lucky.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I actually met you at Yona New York. One of the
oh my gosh, at the Martini Factory.
That's you were the first model I ever met.
No.
And honestly, Faith,
you've been on
you've been on this journey for me since the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's so special. And talking
that was
about,
like
you know,
semi the beginning for me too, though.
It was.
I've only been doing this for 2 years.
So when at that time it was a year ago that we met.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Faith has been one of the my inspirers. My motivator.
Right back at you.
And it seems how we always seem to be at the same place all the time.
We always like show up like we never know about it. It's always
and
like,
it's meant
oh my
to
God.
be, you know. So and that's you know, the journey of finding the good people, because and it's crazy because I have met a few people along the way, and I have to learn to just sometimes just sit back and look instead of just reaching right in. Because me, I give my all in everything. But you have to be careful what you give your all to.
Exactly.
Right.
And
in
I'm
the
glad.
beginning, that was the thing for me. I was like, oh, everyone's so nice. Everyone's so nice. Here, take all of me. I'm
We're
open
so
up
naive.
all the time for everyone and give everything to everyone. And now I'm like,
yeah.
I'm going to be like slightly more
pick and choose your battle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm still like, I stay true to myself. I'd say, you know, the most I can, if not always. And I want to be, you know, a support system for other people. Like that makes my heart so happy that like if you say that like I was like one of the first to meet, like that you know, I want to be able to support everyone else and the good people, and because we have to support each other. Yeah, we have to, you know, lift each other up, because so that we all, you know, can
there are good
thrive.
people. You just, in my opinion, is like when you have to like when it takes a while to, you know, to meet people and you get to know them, those are the ones that's supposed to be in your life. And I feel like when you meet people too fast and it's just based on certain things, I'm like, those are the ones that's really not going to be around. If that makes sense.
No,
so it's
sometimes
like
you get magnetic. Like, like with you two, like I feel like every time, like with Nina, like the second Nina, like we always somehow magically like end up at the same places.
I found out that you were here. What was it? 2 days ago. I was like, Oh my god!
And the same with like the
We were
Courtney
so
Noel
happy.
runway show. We
Yeah,
found out, I
we
was like,
were-
oh my
yeah.
god! And it's like all these things. And with you, like I always like ended up like running into you, and it's
Yeah.
always like such a good thing. And I feel like that's like kinetic energy of like these are the good people. These are, and it's always a good experience. And you guys are so freaking sweet. And I love you.
I can't with this girl. I love this girl.
I love it. Like when I met Katia, actually reached out to me online when I was doing my clothing line, and she was asking me to participate in the fashion show for her first conference that she had.
Oh wow!
But I couldn't do it because I was already engaged with something else.
Okay.
But I called her and we talked and we just connected. And then to find out her birthday is the day before mine.
Oh.
September 11th, mine is the 12th. And we have so many other things in common. And it's like, she's like the real, like the most coolest person. She listens. She always try to help people. And she's just an open person. And Cruz could even vouch for that too. Why are you so quiet, Cruz? So, you know, and Sean Montgomery, who have the show after me, Thick and Thicker. So it's like you meet those good people along the way, and sometimes I think when it takes a little bit longer to meet people, those are the ones that stay in your life a little bit longer or long.
Yeah.
So
because you build that relationship
Exactly.
and you build that, you know, love and admiration and, you know, all the good stuff.
Exactly. So another thing I wanted to talk about, both of you being models, how did you develop your body confidence? What are some tips you could give women like to develop body confidence?
You honestly have to look at yourself in the mirror. Like literally look at yourself in the mirror. I just got comfortable like looking at myself in the mirror naked.
That's what I was gonna say.
You have to
Let
look at
it all
yourself
out.
in the mirror naked.
Yep.
Once you really have to stand there and talk to yourself. You will have the best conversation with yourself once you speak your truth. You start seeing things, you're like, damn, wait, I look good.
Yes.
I look good. What were they talking about that like a big girl can't slay?
Right.
We're here to slay, and like people really don't think that we can. You have to try to turn the negatives into a positive.
Yes.
I've always like not loved my arms because I have such big arms.
Me too.
But
You talk about the eagle wings. I got them.
girl, it's taken me a lot. I couldn't even wear tank tops. It's taken me years. You know, one day I was at the bank and I wore a tank top and someone said to me, she was like, I commend you for wearing a tank top. And I was like, oh my God. Like, you know, like it was so weird.
That's
I
like
didn't,
a backhanded
you know, it's funny. I
compliment,
didn't know, but she was also plus size. But we started talking.
Oh,
and she
okay.
was like, you know, and I was like, girl, I was like, don't be afraid to show your arms. If they don't like what they're looking at, oh well, you know, that's who you are. You have to be proud of it.
Well, and
Yeah.
also like we have bodies and we're allowed to wear clothing.
And why should we
Like,
not, you know, wear shorts or tank tops because we're of a bigger size?
Like it's hot out. Like I don't want to.
Exactly.
You know,
I used to wear long sleeves
Like-
in the summer.
Unless you want me to be sweaty
Yep.
too, then all the,
You know?
Yep.
So it does take a lot of talking to yourself and actually looking at yourself in the mirror and taking pictures. And
Yes.
you know, it's funny, I'm like a model, but sometimes I don't like to take pictures because I still don't like my angles. I still like, oh my God, I don't like this, I don't like that. But then, you know, you're like, oh, you know, you have to look at it
after
again
500
and again and again.
pictures, it's
Exactly.
like, all right.
Exactly.
It's like something's got to be. And also, like as a model, like so they always say, like you. And honestly, I kind of do agree with this. Like you can't get into modeling thinking you're gonna start your body positive journey. You gotta go in ready because you are gonna get torn apart. It's a modeling. It's modeling. I mean, I don't know. Like people think that it's like, oh, so much more, you know, different. It's kind of not.
Modeling is hard.
The first photo shoot I ever did. No, the second photo shoot I ever did. I was looking to like build my actual like modeling portfolio, and I was with this. I'm not going to say his name, but this well-known photographer, plus-size photographer, and he kept referring to me as a blogger, which is fine. I am a blogger, but I was strictly made it clear to him, I was like, I want to be a model. Like, this is my modeling portfolio. Kept saying, Faith, the blogger. And I finally was taking these pictures, and afterwards, or I guess in the middle, he said, you know, oh, I guess you could actually model, but you got to get rid of this first. And did that, like, I don't know if you
He
can see me
rubbed
if you're
your
listening,
belly.
rubbed your belly. And I was like, huh, like that's why. Well, first of all, that's why I'm here. I didn't really ask you. I'm paying you money to take pictures of me right now. Second of all, look where I am now, Mr. Man.
Exactly.
That actual photo shoot like launched like a lot for me, and he thought that I could be a model if I and he was a plus size photographer. So like you cannot go in. So basically, you have to be ready. You have to like own yourself. And yeah, I feel like I did start the journey first. I like worked a year on just like purely myself, like with my Instagram page. I was really like being vocal about my body positive journey, and that's when, yes, brands started reaching out to me, and I entered a model search contest and I won, and then it kind of like took off from there. But if you want to do modeling, that is incredible, but you have to know that you are beautiful, and if you're getting paid to model, then guess what? You're getting paid to model because of the way you look. So that's pretty great. Right. And that means that you are beautiful, obviously. Like, people are always like, models are so, like, like, really, like, tear themselves down. And it's like, well, okay, but, like, you're getting paid for literally how pretty you are. Yeah. And people always tell me that, too, because I forget sometimes. I'm like, oh, like, I'll see a photo shoot or even literally what we were just talking about. And, I got pictures back that I didn't necessarily love. And then I have to remember, oh, wait, no, they wanted me for a reason. They picked those photos for a reason. People want to see it.
People see us in a different light than we see ourselves.
Exactly. So, like, you have to, like, commit to yourself. You have to start this relationship with, like, yourself. Yes. And you have to, like...
Exactly. Have a relationship with yourself first.
Yeah. And, like, know your body and know that literally no one is perfect. I don't know. Yes, I'm sure Beyonce has a half of a flaw somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm sure she has a hairline of a flaw.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
No one is perfect, and we are all. No two people are the same. Even identical twins are not exactly. Have some differences. So
exactly.
Like, how can we be expected to be this thing that literally no one is? So like once that's what helped me realize is that like no two people look the same. We all have different bodies. Yep. I don't, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Right. Except how you feel and, feel good about yourself. Because you deserve to,
exactly.
Wear what you want to wear. That was like my first like major thing was like when I was 22. It was like right when I was starting my Instagram page. I had bought my first ever in my entire life a bikini at 22 years old. And that was literally the reason that I started like my Instagram page. And that like because I like took that chance on myself because I was like, I deserve to like live my life right now. Like I'm 22 years old. I shouldn't be scared to wear a freaking bikini. Like I don't want to be covered up in granny clothes right now on the beach because I feel like I have to.
You looked amazing in that bikini.
Thank you. I felt amazing, and that was the thing. Was
and you can tell. You can tell you felt amazing.
And I felt so good, and it changed everything. And it's taking those steps and those chances on yourself to like live your best life and to feel beautiful and to like do things that'll make you happy.
Yep, that's
and
the
it's
biggest
crazy
thing.
because sometimes we're afraid to be seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's with me, like, with me coming into modeling, this was such a big deal for me because when I was younger, I didn't want to be seen. And now, me building up my confidence, I'm coming out there and I'm like, oh, people really want to see me. And you don't realize that you get more love than hate.
Yes.
Now because of how you are and how you're presenting yourself.
Yes. Very true. Very.
Definitely.
Katia, you have any parting words?
Parting word. It was awesome talking to y'all young ladies. It was really great. Thank you, Nina, for telling me to call in and just pretty much just be authentically you. Live unapologetic. Sit on your oppressors if they try to mess with you, and and just live life to the fullest, no matter what anyone tries to tell you to. Because you know what, you only have one life, and you don't know what tomorrow may hold, and you don't want to go and be like, man, I should have. Just jump.
And
and just have
Katia,
faith that you will fly.
Katia, I want to tell you something. You said earlier that we can't be afraid to fail if we try, but I feel that I don't feel like we're ever failing if we're trying.
Right.
I feel like we're always winning.
Yeah.
So just continue to unapologetically win.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
That's my goal. That's all I want to do. Unapologetic.
Well, you
win.
are. I feel
We're
like we all are.
unapologetically winning.
We're kind of killing
Yeah.
it, guys.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
we're kind of doing a really good job.
Yes. 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 And also, because we got a few minutes left, I wanted to do something special. When I was going through my Submit Your Stories of Nina and Faith, they had affirmations at the end of their stories, and I was like, I wonder if they even noticed that.
Yeah,
That's
like
funny. I didn't notice it until you said it today.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
It's like you write something and you're writing it and you submit it and you may go back and read it again, but you don't see something always the second time around. So when I seen it, I was like, wow, they have their own affirmations, and I want them to read this tomorrow on the show. So I'm gonna have the two of you read it.
Okay.
First, Katia. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yes.
you so much for
It was
calling
so
in.
great talking
Yes.
to you. I'm going to
You're
see you at
amazing.
your
In
conference,
June.
Missy.
Yes.
She's actually going
Thank
to
you.
be
I will
here.
tell you.
You're going to be here in 2 weeks, right,
Oh,
Katia,
really?
for the
Yes,
women
I will be there.
influencers and entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So she's
Great.
going to be on the show the 17th, as well as some of my other friends along the way that I met who have their businesses, and I'm watching them take off. So I said, I want you to come on here and talk about your business. So, Katia, thank you so much for calling in. I
No
am
problem.
going to finish off this show with Faith and Nina, and I will
Yes.
talk to you.
Okay, sweetie.
All right. Take
Goodbye,
care,
everyone.
Katia.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Oh my
Bye.
gosh, she's really bad. Oh my god, did you hear that?
We're excited.
I got excited. Oh my gosh.
All right. Bye, sweeties.
Bye.
Oh
Okay.
god.
So, Faith,
Okay.
I want you to be the
So-
first one.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this is at the end of
Your submit your story.
my submit my story,
Mhm.
which talks about my mental health journey and body positivity and my kind of life a little bit. So here is the last of it.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens in your life that might not seem ideal, know that life is so much more. Life can be filled with love and successes. Life is a journey, a plethora of battles that you can choose to fight, that you will always win even if they feel like losses, and that makes you stronger. Remember, you are a warrior. You are fierce and a force to be reckoned with. You have the power to bring kindness and compassion into this world. Don't be afraid to share your story. We need to celebrate our stories because they're what make us us. Bumps in the road are not failures, because in the grand scheme of things, life is one giant win. We get to choose how we impact this world. I am choosing to spread love because there's already too much hate and I refuse to be a part of it. I am choosing to spread awareness because sometimes all it takes is for someone to see that they are not alone to make a day a little bit brighter and more hopeful. I am choosing to be the hope. I am choosing to share my story, at least for now, one chapter at a time.
Yes, yes.
So it's funny that you were just saying how life is the wins and things, and that, that clearly we were on the same page.
And Nina?
Yes. I have come a very long way in life, and at the age of 25, I am choosing to finally live and be happy. I am finally choosing me. I have found a new love for self that will not be broken by anyone's hurtful and disrespectful remarks. I will not break down. I will break through. I choose now to live in constant conversation of self-gratification and ultimate self-celebration. When you decide to love yourself, you open up a path to limitless opportunities and have now created a space only you can control. You are free to be, and you are free to be amazing. I am a woman with curves all over my body. I will embrace it, and it will shine all throughout my face. I am beautiful, I am me, and I am Nina.
Cruz, can we get a hand clap, please? Thank you. Thank you. I want for people to go to the website, ninamonique.com or the ninamoniqueshow.com. It'll lead you to the show. And I want you to go to the inspirational blog page. And whenever you may feel low, or you may think that you're not beautiful, you may feel, out of place, I want you to go to Faith and Nina's Submit Your Story, and I want you to read those passages that they just read from their Submit Your Story. And you could substitute Nina's name with your name, but I love the end of it when she said, "I am Nina." Yes, yes, yes. You are you. Yes. And I also want people to go and read Katia's Submit Your Story, because hers is very inspirational also. And if you ever was to sit down with one of these three ladies, you will walk away feeling empowered. You will walk away hungry to continue to be who you are, and you won't be afraid to go after the things that you want. I appreciate you ladies coming here and talking to me.
I appreciate
you spreading your knowledge and your experience, and I hope that young people that are listening, this has helped you. You always remain in yourself, and let no one tell you that you're not
worthy.
Exactly, because you are. And as you see with the kids marching, for gun control, and you see people standing up and talking about the things going on, and continue to do that, because you have a voice. You're not voiceless. People want you to think that you're voiceless, but you're not. So on that note, I am gonna sign off. And
waiting for the minute.
Also, Faith, give out your social media information.
You can follow me on Instagram. I'll just give you my 2, not my 80 million. At Faith_plus_fashion, all spelled out, or my art account at Costa_original artwork, or just go to my website, faithcosta.com, and you can get everything from there. That'll make it a little bit easier. Just go to my website and you can find me there.
And also, real quick, talk about your campaign that you got going on.
Oh, I did this awesome campaign called #The Gift of Self-Love with my friend Janie Riddell, who just launched her incredible production company, Cherry Pie Productions. So we collaborated on this incredible campaign. We had 22 incredible models ranging from sizes 00 to 20 to 28. Sorry, that was that beeping. Ranging from sizes 00 to 28. That included cis, trans, non-binary, literally everyone. Incredible people. And we did kind of a Valentine's Day theme thing, just to really give yourself the gift of self-love, because that's the best gift that you can get. And for Valentine's Day, it's really hard to not everyone has someone, and it's such a Hallmark holiday, but we wanted to turn around and Janie's vision of really loving ourselves for that day and for every day. It was incredible. So we got featured in a bunch of publications and everything. You can find that page on Instagram at Cherry Pie Productions, CHERRIE. I've tagged them in a bunch of my posts. You can find them there. And that's been really an incredible project to work on. I got a couple things coming up, but I'm excited. But that was the major one. That was a really big deal, and it was really an inspiring thing to work on. And with all those incredible people, I've never seen a more inclusive campaign. 22 models from 00 to 28. I mean, all the women there that day were just, and people there that day were just, it was just miraculous. So I think that we have to continue doing things like that to really, this making the difference. Again, it's being the good. I think that overall was the message of today.
Yes.
So supporting each other and loving each other.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Nina Roman here. You can follow me on Instagram at FlyPrettyandPlus, FlyPrettyNPlus, and my Facebook account, Nina Roman, NinaRoman. Thank you very much. I will say today that no matter what you go through, and no matter how much negativity you may come across, to always choose to move with love.
Yep.
Because you move with love, it'll just be a domino effect.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what we need. Like Faith said, there's way too much hate in the world.
Yes. And on that note, if you have any questions that you want to share with Faith and Nina, you can email them to me and I'll pass it over to them at info@theninaMoniqueShow.com. And you could go to the website also, theninaMoniqueShow.com, and you could go to the contact page and fill in the information, and I will pass it over to them. And let us know your thoughts about the show. And everyone, on that note, have a wonderful Saturday. Bye.
Bye.